if there's not enough for all of them, then none of them would be wearing it. And that's basically, that's how I would have felt about it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Deborah. You guys are watching Simply Deborah, where I simply create content all about fashion, beauty, and everyday living. Now, if that is something that interests you, come on and be a part of what I do. Love on me as I love on you, and subscribe to my channel. You may say, how may I subscribe to your channel, Deborah? How can I help you out? So it is so simple, guys. It is so simple. Only by hitting that little red subscribe button, bam, right there, you have just subscribed to my channel. I so greatly appreciate it. Let me be the first to say thank you and welcome. If you are returning, hello, hey, welcome, and thank you so much for coming back. I so greatly appreciate it. Guys, in today's video, we are in the beauty room and we are just chit-chatting. I have not did this in so long with you guys, and yeah, I am back. I am doing a little chit-chat. Have a lot going on here with my moves, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep it simple and I want to come to you guys. And so somebody had gave me or asked me a question, and I posted on my Facebook and on Instagram, and you guys had a lot to say about it. Now, I don't know if it's you particular. If you're not following me there, then it can't be you. So if you're not following me, you should be following me at Simply Deborah 722 on Instagram, and I'll post it right here. And check me out on Facebook if you're on Facebook. If you're an oldie and on Facebook, yeah, check me out up under, I'll put it right there. Yep, and that is where you could check me out on Facebook. So I pose these questions, you know, how can I help you out? And do you have any questions that you would like for me to try to answer, or for me to allow my followers to engage and to reply back with their answer? So that is what I kind of do on Facebook and on Instagram. Yeah. So like I said, if you're not following me on there, you should be. So I posed this question. Someone asked me, and I was like, I'll ask you as I'm asking you guys now, and we'll talk about it on YouTube, on this platform. We'll talk about it on Instagram, and we'll talk about it on Facebook. So that is what I did. And so now I am asking you. And I'm going to read some of the comments that the people replied back to the comments. So the question was, yeah, we're jumping right into it. The question was, what would you do, sis? So I have 4 kids. 3 are with my husband, 1 before I met him. I've been married for 5 years. And every year we spend Christmas Eve over my in-laws. Well, of course, you know, with this new pajama thing, everybody wants to jump on the trend and start, you know, a tradition with everybody on Christmas Eve put on all the same pajamas. So she stated her mother-in-law brought 3 matching PG sets for the kids, and her oldest, which is not with her husband, did not get one. She said she felt some type of way. Of course, I will too. Nothing was ever said about it. Do I go this year? And so since it's Christmas, I'm bringing it to you guys. So she would like to hear from you. But since this is Christmas and she wants to know, should she go over there this year, or should she just do her own thing? Because she felt some type of way by her mother-in-law not buying PGs for all 4 kids, which she should have. I don't know what grandma or what could have been on her mind not to have done that. It's just like, it's a given. I mean, if you go and buy 3, hello, there's 1 more. So yeah, so that is what we are talking about, guys. Mother-in-laws. They can be from you know where. Yeah. I'm not that mother-in-law though. No, I'm not that mother-in-law. I try to keep the peace. I try to love on everyone. I try to show everyone love. I try to keep everybody together. Everybody is my love. Everybody. I have no not grandkids. All of my kids, all of my grandchildren are my grandchildren. And whether it being by blood or by not blood, they're still my grandchildren. And I'm not going to show one any more favor than the other one. I love them all the same. I do for them all the same. Anything that I can provide, do, give, I'm there 110% for all 4 of my grandchildren. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, so I'm going to ask you guys. And like I stated, I'm going to read some of the comments because some of them was just like, really? I don't know if I would do that. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to know, what would you do? What would you do, or what advice would you give her, being that she has 3 children by her husband, 1 that is not her husband, so she has a total of 4 kids, and her grandmother is playing favoritism. It's a Christmas time. It's time to show love. It's time to, you know, it's especially everything that we have been through. And kids can feel so left out, especially when you do something like that. It's just like, I probably wouldn't have even let them the 3 wore theirs. I would have been like, nope, nobody is wearing them. And I wouldn't have cared what mom had to say, what my in-law had to say, what anybody had to say, even if my husband had to jump in. I would have been like, no, absolutely not. None of them are going to wear them. And if there's not enough for all of them, then none of them would be wearing it. And that's how I would have felt about it. It wouldn't have been, you know, an opportunity for the 3 to put on theirs. I would have been just, I mean, I'm a person that I voice my opinion, and like I stated, I try to keep the peace and try to keep everybody happy. So I'm not in charge of your happiness. I'll try to do what I can do to make everybody feel good. But if you feel some type of way, then that is on you, and that's something that I feel like that you would need to work on. But I would have been like, no, I'm sorry, but if there's not enough for all the kids, the other kids won't wear theirs either, because I don't want one to feel a certain type of way and the other 3, you know, have theirs on. So I would have been like, no, I'm not going to do that. So yeah, again, that's just me. I think my battery is getting ready to die out, but if it do, I'll just go to my other camera. So like I stated, I want to know, and I want to hear from you guys, what would you have said, or what advice could you give this lady? Being that she's in this predicament. Christmas is coming up next week. Christmas Eve, everybody, you know, is in this festivity mood. So yeah, I wanted to hear from you guys. So I'm going to, like I stated, read some of the comments that I actually received back from this. So Be White, she stated on there, whatever makes them happiest. What do you mean, sis? Whatever make them happiest. I don't. So, as I was stating before my battery completely died out on me. Hopefully it's okay now. But anyway, so we're going to jump into it. And I was reading the comments. So, again, the last comment I think that I wrote or I stated was Be White. And so Miss Fee Marie, she stated, I will go, but, excuse me. She was like, I will go. It's for the greater good, but I will have a chat with my mother-in-law. So I think kind of if your mother-in-law, she knew exactly what she was doing, sis. You have 4 kids. And if she could not acknowledge the 4th child while buying those pajama sets, then I think it's some shade there. Me personally, yeah, I think it's some shade. And like I stated, last year, I would have not allowed any of the kids to wear any of the PJ sets. And that issue actually would have got taken care of when it happened. So the whole year wouldn't have went past without, you know, me addressing it. And evidently you still feel some type of way because evidently she's still showing some kind of not interest toward the 4th child, being that a whole year has went past and this is still on your heart, this is still in your mind. So yeah, I would have had a talk with my husband and had my husband to have a talk with his mother. So that is basically how I would have done it. So let me go to the comments on Facebook. Oh, okay, so I'm on the comments from Facebook. Lahoma Barnes stated, communication will set you free. Maybe the mother-in-law didn't see this as a hurtful gesture. Even if she should have, I would say have an open dialogue and see if there can be some kind of resolution. Then you will pick up on this if she don't have any remorse as far as what she did as a shady move, and then move accordingly. So that is what Lahoma Barnes commented. And Angela Spencer commented, all kids should be treated equal. I agree. All kids should be treated equal. There shouldn't be a, do for one and not for the other. I don't roll that way. I'm like, if I'm due for one, I'm gonna do for the other. And if I can't do for the other one, I won't do for the one. So yeah, if I felt some type of way as being a mother-in-law, I wouldn't have just did anything. So I think it is kind of shady on that mother-in-law, y'all. Me personally, I just don't think that you roll that way. I don't think that you treat kids that way. We're living in an age where now kids are paying attention to everything. And I guarantee you, I don't know the age frame as far as the fourth child, but probably felt some type of way. I'm just saying, I wouldn't have allowed any of them to have worn those pajama sets. Dorothy Owens is stating, have an open conversation with her. Possibly she wasn't thinking. Dorothy Owens stated, have an open conversation with her. Possibly she wasn't thinking anything was wrong with it. Maybe sin is once you marry in, all should be included. I just don't see me. I have 4 grandchildren. Okay, so one of them is not my biological, but he is just as much as my grandchild as the other 3. So if I'm going to do for the other 3, definitely I'm doing for him. There is just no way as being a grandmother that I would do that to any child. I love all of my grandchildren equally. So Melissa Howard, she stated, guess what I would say? And she put a lot of emojis behind it. Yeah, me and her are our grandchildren, are the grandmothers to the same 4 grandchildren. So, or the same 2 grandchildren, shall I say. Yeah. So we share the same interests. So she gets me, I gets her. So, okay, Melissa Howard. So Mary Towns commented, all children matter, and all children so matter. All children matter. So again, I just think it was a shady mood on Miss Grandma. I'm sorry. I think she was being shady, and I wouldn't have allowed any of the children to put on their pajama sets. Point blank, period. And so Stephanie Daniels Quad commented, she stated, I would ask what the PJs are she's getting and let her know what you want to get some for the olders. Be open and honest. So I think being open and honest, I wouldn't have asked her, what PJs are you getting, so that I can make sure I get the 4th one. That still, to me, is being shady. I think it is, the grandmother knew exactly what she was doing, and yeah, I wouldn't celebrate Christmas over there anymore. I think she knew what she was doing, sis. I'm sorry, but you just don't do kids that way. So Stephanie Johnson Campbell commented, first, the husband has to get it established with his mom about the kids. All of them should be treated equal, period. Because when you marry her, he married the kids. Exactly. They came with her. Second, have the heart-to-heart talk and let her know how you felt and that you felt some type of way about the situation. As I know, the child probably did as well. So I would leave that up to my husband, because that's not my mom, although she's my mother-in-law. But I still think that I would have that conversation with my husband. And if he couldn't address his mom about that issue, then there's nothing more for me to say. Of course, I would have addressed it at that time and told my husband, hey, what was up with that? That's not what we're going to do. That's not what we do. That's not how we roll. We love one, we love all. And your mother was shady. And if your mother cannot do for all four, then tell her not to do for the three. And that's just what it is. So, yeah. Kenya Foster commented, I made that very clear with my mother-in-law. She tried it. Hello, she tried it. With my children, I sent what she brought back and told her it's 3 children in this home, and you will buy for all 3. Keep all gifts. No one will ever discriminate against my children. She did that because you allowed it. I'm just reading the comments. I'm just reading what they saying. They commented and I'm just reading them. So that is what Kenya Foster read. So I do think that people will take advantage of you, especially if you allow them. People are only going to do what you allow them to do and get away with it. If you do not allow them to get away with it, and if you nip it in the bud right then and there, they can't take advantage of you. So, yeah, I kind of agree with Kenya. And she stated, no, you're not going to do that. And I don't blame her. Shani Teresa stated, that's sad. And I get it. But maybe go and see what happens this year first and then go from there. If you have a decent relationship and the opportunity arises, you can mention that really hurted your child possibly. Or wait to see what happens, and then your hubby can take it over and then say something after that. Just my thoughts. I wouldn't go this year. Like I said, if a whole year has went past, and I'm sure that you have had some kind of encounter with her, and for you have not to have said anything over this whole year, and you've been holding all of this in, I definitely wouldn't go. And even if you didn't say anything, I just feel like, guys, when you don't address an issue and you continue to sweep it up under the rug, that rug is going to have a huge pile in it. And it's probably already got some stuff in there, because if you didn't have the voice to speak then in reference to that happening there, I'm sure that was not the only episode or the only issue that you probably had. And you feel like that you can't talk to her. So I'm sure that there's probably a lot of stuff brushed up under that rug that has piled up. And pretty soon, that rug is not going to be able to lay flat. Sis, I would probably, at this point, like I stated, it's been a whole year and you haven't addressed it. And I'm sure other things have happened and that you continue to brush up under the rug as well. Maybe you should sit down and talk to your mother-in-law, or maybe you should sit down and talk to your husband and let him know that, hey, I've been dealing with some things that I've been letting pass, and I just can't let it pass anymore. I just have to address you, and I have to talk to you about what I feel is wrong with what your mother-in-law is doing, and go from there. It couldn't be me, because I like I said, I have I'm very vocal when it comes to, especially when it comes to kids. You're not going to disrespect my child. I'm sorry. You just not. I may allow you to disrespect me, but I'm not going to let you disrespect my child. That's just not going to happen. And Isabella Herrera, she stated, your husband should mention it. Yolanda Cumbis stated, not cool. Cynthia Sudalis Kirk stated, sadly, a real mother would not make differences with any children. That's what I'm talking about. Not sure about the types of relationships you have with your mother-in-law, but she was 100% wrong, period. And I agree. She was definitely wrong, and she definitely knew what she was doing. She know that you've been married to her son for 5 years. So she know that you have 4 kids. She know 3 of them are her sons and 1 is not. She was definitely being shady. And like I said, I'm sure this was not the first time with her being shady, and I would definitely talk to her. I'm sorry, but you just cannot do that to children. You just can't. You couldn't do that to me. No, you couldn't do that to me. Not when it comes to my child. No, you could not do that. Rita Holman, she stated she shouldn't have to do anything. She shouldn't have to do anything. Hubby should have had a convo with his mom right after that happened to nip that in the bud. Yeah, like I said, it couldn't have been a whole year has went past and this is in your heart, this is on your mind. Christmas is getting ready to approach. And maybe you've been, you know, staying a distance away from her, especially during COVID. You know, we're not visiting like we, you know, used to do. So maybe the COVID has, you know, come into play and kind of helped with you not being or having to address these issues that, you know, that you're feeling some type of way with her doing this. But now, since, you know, COVID is kind of lifting, people are now, you know, spending time with their families. Vaccines are, you know, we're kind of good, but not good. But yeah, so I don't know. I probably would, I mean, let me finish reading the comments and then I'm going to state my thoughts. Rita Holman, she stated, she shouldn't have to do anything. Oh, I stated that one. So, Oya Yamama, Oya stated, I would have said something last year. I don't play about my kids. We should be spending Christmas somewhere else. And so, again, that's what I stated. I would have said, and if you're looking at this, sis, I don't mean to, you know, come off rude. I don't mean to come off cold. But I think people only do to you what you allow them to do to you. And you're probably quiet and kind of reserved and, you know, always give the older people respect. But at a point in time, she's not respecting you. And I believe that respect earns respect. So you have to respect me in order for me to respect you. And I think that that was a disrespect. And I think that a whole year without addressing this, and this has been on your heart and on your mind, and you're not stating anything. And now, like I stated, Christmas is approaching, and it's time to spend time with your family and loved ones. So now you're kind of, you know, in between of what should you do. I think personally, you should talk to your husband at this point. And you should tell him, you know, hey, what your mom did last year was not cool. Even if your child didn't feel a certain way. I don't know. Maybe the kids may be 5, 4, 3, 2. And last year it could have been 4. And maybe that 4th child, maybe, you know, he probably or she probably wasn't old enough to really realize what was going on. But you being the mom, being the protector of that child, I would talk to my husband and tell him, hey, your mom was totally wrong last year. I don't feel comfortable going this year. So if you want to go over there with your family, then that's fine. But me and my family, we're going to stay at home and celebrate New Year's Eve here. And I will purchase all the kids' pajama sets. But what your mother-in-law did or what your mom did last year was totally wrong. And I will not accept it. And to let her know that I won't accept it, she will not be seeing any of the kids this year for Christmas Eve. So that's just me. That's just how I feel. I felt like mom was being totally shady on that. Like I say, you just don't do kids that way. You may think that, you know, that child didn't realize what was going on, but believe me, that child is probably going to carry that memory all the way through life and probably, you know, 10, 20 years be like, you know, I remember going over to my mom. I don't know if he even called her grandma. But over to her house, and I felt some type of way because she brought all my siblings pajamas and didn't buy me pajamas. You never know how kids may not say anything, but a moment like that may stick with them all their life and can really, really, really hurt a child. So I would say something to my husband. I personally wouldn't go this year, and I would just celebrate with my family here. And to be honest with you, well, I don't even know what, you know, what type of relationship he has with his mother, for him not to have said something too. I think that my husband would have said something to his mom, even if I didn't mention it. I think, you know, my husband would have been like, Mom, that's not cool, you know, to buy Tiara something and not buy the boy something. You just don't do that. You just don't do that to children. And I think mom was being shady. So what I want to know from you guys, what do you think? What would you do? Comment down below and let her know what you think that she should do. And thank you to all the comments or all the replies that I received from the question. I hope this is helpful to you. If you have any questions that you would like for me to ask, make sure you hit me up on Instagram at Simply Deborah 722. Leave me a message, and yeah, we will talk about it here on this platform. We will talk about it on Instagram, and we will talk about it on Facebook. And somebody, hopefully somebody, will give you an answer that you need, that will help you out. And that is what we do. We love on one another. We help each other out on this channel. And I'm excited about this. I did this segment a while ago, and so now I'm bringing it back because I have the time to sit down and do more chit chat. So I am bringing it back, and I hope this is helpful to you, to whoever needs this. And maybe it may not, I can't talk. And maybe it may not be you, but you may have a similar story to this, and hopefully this will help you out, sis. So again, that is what we do over here. We love on one another. We try to help you out. If you have any questions or if you have any issues, definitely reach out to me on Simply Deborah 722. Leave your comment in my DM me, message me with your comments, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it on Facebook. We're gonna talk about it on Instagram, and we're gonna talk about it here. And hopefully, just hopefully, we're able to help you out. And I am gonna go. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, and I guess I will talk to you all in my next video. Always do something good for yourself. If it's only, how can I talk? Maybe I need some water. Always do something good for yourself. If it's only putting a messy bun in your head and some lip gloss on your lips, sis, you have just accomplished in doing something good for yourself. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope it answered your questions, or at least gave you some direction to go in as far as what you should do. So thank you all. Thank you to everybody that responded, and thank you for all the comments, for everybody that will give her a solution. Thank you. And I guess I would go ahead and wrap it up. Again, if you have a question that you would like for us to talk about it, DM me at Simply Deborah 722 on Instagram. Message me, and I will put it out there, and we will see if we can help you. And until then, I will talk to you guys in my next video. Love, peace, and happiness. If you can feel this, it is a hug from me to you. Bye.